so let's start with why would you even want to know about the law of sines or the law of cosines when you've got SOHCAHTOA? Okay, so what can we use SOHCAHTOA to do? Triangles. What kind of triangles can you solve? Right triangles. Okay, well, how many triangles in the world are right triangles? Let's go with like half of them, because some are and some are not. So the ones that are not, we have to use a different technique. Okay, so we're going to talk about oblique triangles in this section. I'm going to draw an oblique triangle, and everybody knows what I mean when I say oblique triangle. Oblique just simply means a not right triangle. Okay, so if I have a triangle, and I'm going to label this A, B, C, I want you to notice that I labeled the angles with capital letters, and then I'm going to label the sides, and see if you figure out where I'm labeling the sides. This side is A, this side is B, and this side is C. So you notice about the sides.
They're opposite and they're lowercase.
They are lowercase and they are opposite of their angles. Piece of cake? Alright, are you ready for the law of sines? Dun dun dun. I'm going to write it in red because it's awesome. So, did you know that little side A over the sine of its angle is equal to little b over the sine of its angle, which also happens to be equal to little c over the sine of its angle? Just in time for the good stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, so the law of sines is like setting fractions equal to each other. So we're going to like cross multiply and stuff. It'll be awesome. Okay, so just so you know, in order to use the law of sines, you must know an angle and its opposite. Right? At least one angle and its opposite. Okay, so I'm going to do an example. Let's say they give us the information such as angle A happens to be 30 degrees. Angle B happens to be 45 degrees, and little side A happens to be a length of 20. Okay, so I'm going to draw a picture because I like to draw pictures when I can. That is a perfect picture. So this side is my A, so this is 30 degrees. This is going to be my B, 45, and just so you know, I never draw triangles to scale. So never assume that I am a good drawer. I'm a math teacher. Okay, my side A over here is 20. Okay, what they're going to ask you to do is to solve the triangle, which means I have to find everything else that is not labeled. So I need to find angle C, I need to find side C, and I need to find side B. Okay, I'm going to start with, in my mind, the very easy one. Anybody have a guess as to what I believe is the easy one is? Okay, exactly. If I'm given two sides of a triangle, I know the third side is...
What do you mean angle?
I mean angle, yeah. So if I know two angles, what's my third one going to be?
What if those are added up to 180?
There you go. So angle C is going to be 180 minus 30 minus 45. So we get what? 105? There we go. Perfect. One down. Alright, so the next thing that I need to do is I'm going to find a side. Okay, so what angle and its opposite was I given in the initial information? Angle A's. I got the A's. Okay, so I'm going to start by setting up a ratio with A's. So I have 20 over the sine of its angle, which was 30 degrees. And I'm going to set it equal to, which one should we find next, side B or C? B. Okay, so we're going to go is equal to side B over the sine of its angle. So that's 45 degrees. Okay, so all you're going to do is you're going to simply cross multiply this. Okay, so grab your calculator. Start by turning it on, and before you start typing, what do you need to do? You need to hit the mode. Okay, since we are typing all of these in degrees, you need to check your mode and make sure that your calculator mode is in degrees. I'm going to just start by turning on my calculator. There we go. Okay, so my mode is in degrees. Okay, so what am I going to type in to solve this particular equation? So I'm going to do 20 times the sine of 45, and I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to divide by the sine of 30. Everybody okay with cross multiplying? Do I need to go over cross multiplication? Excellent. So anybody else get aside 28 points? Oh, let's call that 3. Okay. So B is equal to 28.3. Okay, how am I going to find side C? Okay, so I could actually use the B ratio since I know it, but it is always best to start with initial information because it is exact. When I rounded B, it wasn't an exact answer, which means if I use that B and cross multiply using that estimated answer, my side C will be slightly less correct. Okay, so always use given information to set up your ratios, or at least exact information. Okay, my angle for side C was, what was it, 105. Okay, so I'm going to allow you guys to cross multiply this. You want to do 20 times the sine of 105. Hit enter and then divide by the sine of 30. 38.6. Did anybody else get 38.6? Perfect. How are we doing? Easy? So easy. Okay, let's do one more, and then I'm going to be done. Number 2. Yes. You could have, yeah. But always try to use exact information. The issue with using B is that 28.3 was a rounded answer. So you could use it, but your C might be, you might end up getting like 38.5 or something, you know, which is a little further from the truth. So try to use given. Exactly. Yes. Yes, Josiah?
Will we always be given information like either both A's or B's or C's?
For this part, yes. If you aren't given that information, then you would have to use a law of cosines, which I will teach you next time. So either a law of sines or a law of cosines should be enough laws to solve any triangle. Okay, so let's say they give us that angle A is 27 degrees, side B is 13, and side A is 7. Shall I draw a triangle? Perfect, okay, this is a really good triangle. This is A, this is B, and this is going to be C, so this is going to be 27, this will be 7 over here, and B is 13 over here. Okay, so I'm going to start with setting up a ratio, because I don't have two angles this time. So what angle and its opposite do I know? The A's. Okay, so I'm going to set up the A ratio. So I have 7 over the sine of 27 degrees is equal to, the only other piece of information I have is B, so I must find angle B first. B. Okay, so now this one is a little different because I'm looking for an angle this time. So what is my cross multiplication steps going to be? Okay, that'll be my last step. Yep.
Sine
So-
27 times 13.
Okay, good. The sine of 27 times 13, then I'm going to divide by the 7, and then I'm going to get a really small number, and then I'll inverse it. Okay, so I start with 13 times the sine of 27. Okay, and then I have to divide by 7. Okay, so that's my normal cross multiplication, and now this is equal to the sine of b. So at this point, I'm going to have inverse. I'm going to push inverse, so second sine. I'm just going to go up and hit that answer and hit enter. So I'm pulling it down. I'm not going to type anything in. I'm just going to have the calculator regenerate it. Did anybody else get 57 point, let's call that 5 degrees? 57.5 degrees. Everybody good on that one? Okay, so where must I go from here? How do I continue solving this? Okay, so if I find angle C, I would just do 180 minus 57.5 minus 27. 95.5 degrees. Okay, so then to find my side C, I'm just going to set up another ratio with my given information.
Did you also just do it?
Nope, can't do Pythagorean theorem unless it's a right triangle. Good question though, you gotta get that out of your brain. Okay, so again, you're just gonna cross multiply that. So you're gonna do 7 times the sine of 95.5 and divide by the sine of 27. And you get 15.3. Anybody else get that? As a verification? Well, I did earlier, so I guess we'll just say that. Harley and I are definitely good. We got this? That's all I got for you guys today.
Pretty much.
Don't want to say it.
Just so you know, I was recording when you said that. Okay, so you got 2 through 16 evens.